Hey, you guys, y'all ready for our outer space adventure? Let's get
Yeah.
it. Let's get it. Oreo Jr. launch you back out into space. Let's get this party started.
All right.
We're almost done, y'all. We got two more lives of this poor book, but I mean, we have other books. It's a fiver, but we'll end this adventure here shortly. Now, Earth creature, he said. Wait, let me make sure. Yeah. Now, Earth creature, he said, the situation we have in effect is this. We have, as you know, been more or less running your planet for the last 10 million years in order to find this wretched thing called the answer to the ultimate question. Why? Said Arthur sharply. No, we already thought of that one, Frankie, interrupting. But it doesn't fit the answer. Why? 42. You see, it doesn't work. No, said Arthur. I mean, why have you been doing it? Oh, I see, said Frankie. Well, eventually, just habit, I think, which is a lot of reason why a lot of people do a lot of things, and it just drives me nuts. To be brutally honest, and this is more or less the point, we're sick of the teeth with the whole thing. And the prospect of doing it over again on account of those Whitney written Vogons, quite frankly, gives me the screaming heebie jeebies. You know what I mean? It was by the merest lucky chance that Benji and I finished our particular job and left the planet early for a quick holiday and have since manipulated our way back to Margarita by the good offices of your friends. Let me tell you something. Remember Z was saying that people were downloading stuff into his brain? It was the mice. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
It was the mice. They mogged him. They mogged him.
Oh,
Hmm.
so that what they did.
Some like they had to. Margarita is a gateway back to our own dimension, put in Benji. Since then, continued his colleague, we have had an offer of a quite enormous fat contract to do the 5D chat show and lecture circuit back in our own dimensional neck of the woods. And we're very much inclined to take it. So these fools don't even care. They just want the money, child. They just want the money. Which didn't we say that the one of the other lies that sometimes people will keep stuff going just so they can have a job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They just want the money, baby. I would, wouldn't you, Ford? Said Z promotingly. Oh yes, said Ford. Jump at it like a shot. Arthur glanced at them, wondering what all this was leading up to. But per we got to have a product, you see, said Frankie. I mean, ideally, we still need the question to the ultimate answer in some form or other. Z leaned towards Arthur. You see, he said, if they're just sitting there in the studio looking very relaxed and, just mentioning that they happen to know the answer to life, the universe, and everything, and then eventually have to admit that in fact it's 42, then the show's probably quite short. No follow up, you see. They want this to be entertaining. They want to be like, Housewives of Atlanta. They want several episodes,
yeah.
period. We have to have something that sounds good, said Benjay. Something that sounds good, exclaimed Arthur. A question to the ultimate answer that sounds good for a couple of mice? The mice bristled. Well, I mean, yes, idealism. Yes, the dignity of pure research. Yes, the pursuit of the truth in all its forms. But there comes a point, I'm afraid, where you begin to suspect that if there's any truth, is that the entire multi-dimensional infinity of the universe is almost certainly being ran by a bunch of maniacs. Isn't that true for like everybody?
Yeah.
Like the world, the universe, all of it's ran by a bunch of crazy maniacs, honey. I agree with the mice. And if it comes to a choice between spending yet another 10 million years, that's a long ass time, finding that out, and on the other hand, just taking the money and running, which, hey, these mice might be the smartest creatures. Then I, for one, could do with the exercise, said Frankie. But, started Arthur hopelessly. Yes. Will you get this, Earthman? Interrupted Z. You are the last generational product of that computer matrix, right? And you were there right up until the moment your planet got the finger, yeah? Uh, so your brain was an organic part of the configuration of the computer program, said Ford. Rather lucidly, he thought. Right, said Z. Well, said Arthur doubtfully. He wasn't aware of ever having felt an organic part of anything. Yes, sir, they tore down your house. They did you dirty. He had always seen this as one of his problems. In other words, said Benjay, steering his curious little vehicle right over the author, there's a good chance that the structure of the question is encoded in the structure of your brain. So we want to buy it off of you. What's the question? Said Arthur. Yes, said Ford and Trillion. For a lot of money, said Z. Z don't give a damn about nothing but that money, honey. Okay? Z love him some money. He about that money. No, said Frankie. It's the brain we want to buy. What? Well, who would miss it? Inquired Benjay. I thought you said you could just read his brain electronically, protested Ford. Oh, yes, said Frankie. But we have to get it out first. It's got to be prepared. Okay, they want Arthur's brain. No big deal.
No.
He don't need it. They say he don't need it.
No. Probably disagrees.
They got the solution. Just hold up. Wait a minute. They got a solution. Hold up.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Treat it, said Benji. Diced. Thank you, shouted Arthur, tripping up his chair and backing away from the table in horror. It could always be replaced, said Benji reasonably. If you think it's important. Yes, an electronic brain. Period. Like I would want one.
You would.
Yeah, would y'all want one? Put what you think in the comment section below. You wouldn't want an electronic brain?
No.
You crazy.
Okay.
Said Frankie, a simple one would suffice. A simple one, wailed Arthur. Yeah, said Z with a suddenly evil grin. You just have to program it to say, what? And I don't understand. And where's the T? You better drag, Z. Z better drag. Z, like, sir, you only say 3 things, honey. So you don't need the brain to say much, sir. You ain't been participating in this whole ship stealing whatever thing that we doing here. Okay. Who know the difference? What? Cried Arthur, bagging away still further. See what I mean, said Z, and howled with pain because of something that Trillion did at that moment. I'd notice the difference, said Arthur. No, you wouldn't, said Frankie the mouse. You'd be programmed not to. Okay. Ford made for the door. Look, I'm sorry, mice, old lad, he said. I don't think we've got a deal. I rather think we have to have a deal, said the mice in chorus, all the charm vanishing from their piping little voices in an instant. I would have stepped on them. I would have got some Raid and sprayed them mice, something. I would have stepped on, because you're not going to take my brain. You just not going to do that. Okay? Not for no money. I mean, I'll take the electronic brain just in case, but you're not going to take my brain. With a tiny whiny shriek, their 2 glasses transports lifted themselves off the table and swung through the air towards Arthur, who stumbled further backwards into a blind corner, utterly unable to cope or think of anything. Sir, mice are launching themselves in whiskey glasses attacking you. What the hell would you do with that? besides step on him or spray him with some Ray. Trillian grabbed him desperately by the arm and tried dragging him towards the door, which Ford and Z had struggled to open. But Arthur was dead weight. Maybe you don't need the brain, sir. He seemed hypnotized by the airborne rodent swooping towards him. She screamed at him, and he just gaped. With one more yank, Ford and Z got the door open. On the other side of it was a small pack of rather ugly men. Okay, girl. I guess they couldn't go work for God because God only take handsome ones, period. Mm-hmm. Who they could only assume were the heavy mob of Margarita. Not only were they very ugly themselves, but the medical equipment they carried with them was also far from pretty. They charged. So Arthur was about to have his head cut open. Trillian was unable to help him, and Ford and Z were about to be set upon by several thugs, a great deal heavier and more sharply armed than they were. Y'all in a pickle. All in all, it was extremely fortunate. At that very moment, every alarm on the planet busted into an ear-splitting din. Uh-oh. Okay, we on our next chapter. Emergency. Oh, wait, no. Let me do better. I can do this better. Emergency. Blasted the Klingexon throughout Margarita. Hostile ship has landed on the planet. Armed intruders in Section 8A. Defense stations. Ooh, I sound just like that. Wow. To me. Okay. The two mice sniffed irritably around the fragments of their glass transports where they lay shatter on the floor. Damnation, Frankie the mouse said. All that fuss over 2 pounds of earthling brain. Sir, use the electronic one. He scuttled around and about, his pink eyes flashing, his white coat bristling with static. The only thing we can do now, said Benji, crouching and stroking his whiskers in thought, is to try and fake a question. Invent one that would sound plausible. Y'all should have did that in the beginning. Just lie. How they gonna know what the answer is? Do they have deep thought? Do they have a supercomputer? Do they have 10 million years? We gotta use our 2-pound earthling brain. Okay. Oh well, they're mice, so sir, maybe you get the electronic brain and use it. Difficult, said Frankie, he thought. How about what's yellow and dangerous? Benjay considered this for a moment. No good, he said. Doesn't fit the question. They sank into silence for a few seconds. All right, said Benjay. What do you get if you multiply 6 by 7? Girl, they done already solved that. Scott, what do you get when you multiply 6 by 7? You guys, what do you get when you multiply 6 by 7? Put in the comment section. What's 6 times 7?
42.
Period. Oh, yeah. Period. That was the answer that Deep Thought gave them, but they don't want to take it. No, too literal, too factual, said Frankie. Wouldn't sustain the punter's interest. Again, they thought. Then Frankie said, here's a thought. How many rows must a man walk down? Ah, said Benji. Ah, now that does sound promising. He rolled the title around a little bit. Yes, he said, that's excellent. Sounds very significant without actually tying you down to meaning anything at all, period. Just word salad. How many rows must a man walk down? 42. Excellent. We'll woof them. Frankie, baby, we are made. They performed a scampering dance in their excitement. Near them on the floor lay several rather ugly men who had been hit about the head with some heavy design awards. Half a mile away, 4 figures pounded up a corridor looking for a way out. They emerged into a wide open planned computer bay. They glanced around widely. Which way do you reckon? Z said. For I wouldn't ask him nothing. Okay, this man's brain is controlled by mice. Don't ask him nothing. And then he told you he's stupid. So why are you asking him anything? At a wild guess, I say down here, said Z, running off down to the right between a computer bank and a wall. As the others stared after him, he was brought up by a he was brought up short by a kill, or I'm sorry, an unalive zap energy bolt that cracked through the air inches in front of him and fried a small section of the adjacent wall. A voice on a bullhorn said, "Okay, Beetle Brooks, hold it right there. We've got you covered." "Cops," hissed Z, and spun around in the couch, in a crotch. "We want to try." Ooh, I can't read with these things. Okay, sorry, y'all. It's just too much. I want to do it, but I can't. Sorry, y'all. Okay, wait. I gotta find my place too. Okay, this way. Say, oh, wait. "Cops, we want to you want to try a guess at all, Ford?" "Okay, this way," said Ford, and the four of them ran down a gangway between the two computer banks. At the end of the gangway appeared a heavily armored and space-suited figure waving a vicious, unalive old gun. "We don't want to shoot you, B. Brox," shouted the figure. "Suits me fine," shouted Z back and dived down a wide gap between two data processing units. The other swerved in behind him. "There are two of them," said Trillian. "We're cornered." They squeezed themselves down in an angle between a large computer data bank and a wall. Okay. They held their breaths and waited. Suddenly, the air exploded with electric or energy bolts as both the cops opened fire on them simultaneously. "Okay, sirs." "Hey, they're shooting at us," said Arthur, crouching in a tight ball. "I thought they said they didn't want to do that." "Yeah, I thought they said that," agreed Ford. Z stuck a head up for a dangerous moment. He got two of them, so he Gucci. If one get pew-pewed off, it's fine. "Hey," he said, "I thought you said you weren't going to shoot at us," and ducked again. They waited. For a moment, the voice replied, "It isn't easy being a cop." "What did he say?" whispered Ford in astonishment. "He said it's not easy being a cop." "Well, surely that's his problem, isn't it?" "I have thought so." Ford shouted out, "Hey, listen. I think we've got enough problems of our own having you shooting at us. So if you could avoid laying your problems on us as well, I think we'd all find it easier to cope." Another pause, and then the bullhorn again. "Now, see here, guys," said the voice. "You're not dealing with any dumb 2-bit trigger pumping morons with low hairlines. What the hell?" "Okay, tell us what you are, sir." "Little piggy eyes and no conversation. We're a couple of intelligent, caring guys that you probably quite like if you met us socially. Period. Stand your ground, sir. I don't get around graciously shooting people and then bragging about it afterwards in seedy Space Ranger bars like some cops I could mention. Probably yourself, sir. Every accusation is usually a confession, but okay. I go around shooting people generously, and then agonize about it afterwards for hours to my girlfriend.
All right.
Sir, I'm just gonna say this. Get a damn therapist and stop shooting people. I feel like that's, sir. What? Anyway, and I write novels, chimed in the other cop, though I haven't had any of them published yet. So I better warn you. And I'm in a mean mood. Mhm. Ford's eyes popped halfway out their sockets. Who are these guys? He said, honey, a bunch of trigger happy lunatics, honey. Don't know, said Z. I think I preferred it when they were shooting. So are you going to come out quietly, shouted one of the cops again? Or are you going to let us blast you out? Okay, they violent.
Job done.
Pew pew pow pow, baby. They violent. They came for violence. Which would you prefer? Shouted Ford. A millisecond later, the air about them started to fry again as boat after boat of unalive old Zap hurled itself into the computer banks in front of them. This continued for several seconds at an unbearable intensity. Did they finally run out of Zap? Child, these people need some help. That one need a therapist. Talking about, I tell my girlfriend, sir, go find you a therapist. When it stopped, there were a few seconds of near quietness as the echoes died away. You still there? Called one of the cops. Yes, they called back. We didn't enjoy doing that at all, shouted the other cop. Then why the hell did you do it? We could tell, shouted Ford. Now listen to us, Beeble Brox, and you better listen good. Why? Shouted back Z. These people got problems. Because, shouted the cop, it's going to be very intelligent and quite interesting and humane. Now, either you'll give yourselves up now and let us beat you up a bit, though not as much, of course, because we are firmly opposed to needless violence, okay? Or we blow up the entire planet and possibly one or two others we notice on our way over here. Wow. They are humane, Scott. Don't you? And they don't like violence.
Okay, well.
Okay. And they're gonna blow up 2 extra planets that they saw on their way over here. Probably they just didn't look right there, redecorate. But that's crazy, cried Turleon. You wouldn't do that. Yes, they would. Okay. I don't know why you're like, ma'am, their actions and their words are not matching here. So just trust the actions, baby. Oh, yes, we would, shouted the cop. Wouldn't we? He asked the other one. Oh, yes, we have to. No question, the other one called back. But why? Demanded Trillion. Because there are some things you have to do, even if you are an enlightened liberal cop who knows all about sensitivity and everything. I just don't believe you guys, said Ford, shaking his head. One cop shouted at the other, shall we shoot again for a bit? Yeah, why not? They let fly another electric barrage. The heat and noise was quite fantastic. Slowly, the computer bank was beginning to disintegrate. The front had almost all melted away, and thick rivers of molten metal were winding their way back towards where they were squatting. They huddled further back and waited for the end. We're going to stop there.
All right.
So sad. We're almost done. We got one more. Oh, so sad. I'm going to cover my eyes so y'all don't see me cry. Okay. Well, as y'all know how this goes, you guys out there, what did you learn? And whatever you learned, put it in the comment section. Scott, what did you learn from this chapter?
I don't know if I learned anything in particular, but things get pretty intense.
Well, yeah, it always gets intense in the end.
Well, it doesn't disappoint that.
Yeah. I'm going to tie in Sunday Fun Day School and this story together. You ready for me to tie it? I'm going to tie it on like this. You ready? Y'all ready?
All right.
In the Bible, not the Sunday Fun Day School Bible, but like this one, it says, be careful of people that speak out of both sides of their tongue. I feel like that's what the police were doing. They were like, no, we're humane. We don't want to hurt nobody. We're going to take you guys alive. And then just went to poo-poo-powing and all kinds of stuff and threatened to blow up 2-3 planets. Be careful when people say one thing, but their actions don't match. Watch them actions. Don't listen to their mouth because they could do this thing Did you know what that thing is called, Scott?
What's that?
Lie.
Oh,
Okay. Watch them actions. Actions don't lie. This mouth do though. Sometimes I'm not saying that all the time. So that's the lesson for today. If them actions don't match, watch them actions, not what they say.
good lesson.
That's what I do. It's what I do. Okay, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna end this live. We'll be back tomorrow with the grand finale, the final conclusion of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just the first book, because maybe we got to get to these others later, though.
End of another era.
It's the end of another book that we did together, y'all, because we like that. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow for that, and then afterwards, sometime during the week, I owe y'all a Sherlock because we completed a book, so we got that going. But we're gonna end this live today. So from wherever we are, even in a galaxy, even on a planet that they threatening to blow up, yet another one, okay, to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. Skinamarinky dinky dink, guys, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and make sure to like, share, subscribe, check out some other lives, videos, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.